Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this live stream, or if you're watching the replay, thank you for tuning in. So, again, on this live, I will be giving live human design readings, foundational human design readings, which include your energy type, your authority, your profile, your definition, and your unconscious and conscious sun gates. So if you would like a human design reading from me, they are $44. You can use my Cash App or my Venmo. Either one is fine. Let me know when you have paid in the comments, and then I will pull your chart up in real time and give you the reading. Is that all of the announcements? I think that's it. So what I wanted to talk about today, there's a few things that I wanted to talk about today, actually, in regards to human design. And the first, it might be a little bit spicy because the things that I'm seeing right now are just irking my soul, right? So the first thing that I want to talk about is the superpower of each of the energy types, okay? Because no one is here, no one is on this planet by accident, right? Like, God just decided, oh, I'm going to create this random person. They have no purpose. They're not supposed to be here. I'm just bored, so I'm going to create this random thing. No. You're here. You have a purpose. You're here to do something. So for you to to feel as though you have nothing to contribute to the world, you have nothing to offer, you don't matter, you're insignificant, is incorrect. It's plain and simple. It is incorrect. So we're going to bust that right now. And we're going to start off with, let's start with generators. So if you are a generator, meaning you have your sacral center defined, one of your superpowers is making people feel connected, making people feel included, nurturing. You're a very nurturing energy type. And you're able to do this because your aura is very inviting to other people, especially when you are doing something that excites you, when you're doing something that lights you up, because you're creating energy, and this energy draws other people in. And that is really what you are meant to do on this planet. I'm a manifesting generator, and I see generators putting themselves into these boxes that are literally draining you of all your energy. And you wonder why you can't get yourself up out of bed every morning. You wonder why you have no energy to do the things that you want to do. It's because you're spending all of your time, all of your energy on these things that do not nourish you in any way. And I get it, okay? I get it that we live in a society where doing things that you should do is valued over things that are good for you. And we live in a society where we have to work and we have bills to pay and we've got student loans, all these things. I understand that. Trust me, I understand that. But I also understand that when you come into a place where your well-being, your inner peace becomes more important than anything else, you find a way to nourish yourself, even with all the crap that's going on in society. Because I've seen it happen. I have seen people, generators specifically, who are in dire circumstances, who have families and children and people to take care of, and they still find a way to nourish themselves while at the same time working within the confines of the society that we're living in. So it's not that you can't. You can do anything. It's a matter of, how can I nourish myself? How can I find a way to do the things that excite me while at the same time taking care of my physical reality, taking care of the things that need to get done right now? And it doesn't always have to be this huge, grandiose thing. It can be baby steps. You can baby step yourself into excitement. You can baby step yourself into the things that light you up until you get to a point where that then becomes your way of life. It doesn't have to overtake everything. Like, you don't have to jump straight in and quit your job and send your kids away in order to start nourishing yourself. It's really not. You can take baby steps. Oh, excuse me, sir. I don't know whose live you think you went up into, but we don't do that here. Oh, anyway, I'm sorry. Some of these comments be ridiculous. What was I saying? Oh, yes. So generators, when you are not nourishing yourself, when you are not allowing yourself to do the things that light you up, you're not able to give to the world the best of you, which is this energy of connecting other people, of making them feel seen and included and nurtured, which is what you're so good at when you are in the proper environment, when you are nourishing yourself in the way that you are meant to. Yeah. I hope that made sense, because I don't mean to go on rants, but it just kind of happens. Okay, so we did generators. Let's move on to manifesting generators. So the thing about many gens is that you have this generator energy. Yeah, that's a really big part of your design. But at the same time, you also have manifestor energy. And when you put these two auras together, you get this very unique combination of wanting to go out and start new things, but at the same time wanting to create and wanting to build on the things that you have already brought into your physical reality. So as a manifesting generator, your superpower is to infuse everything that you do and infuse everyone around you with this energy of playfulness. It's a very exciting, almost childlike energy. And when you get around, it's just like, oh my God, it's fresh, it's exciting, I feel as though we kind of get stuck in these humdrum ways of living. Like, we get up, we have our routine, we brush our teeth, we go to work, we take the kids to school, and, we wake up and we do it all over again the next day. The superpower of manifesting generators is to come in and kind of shake things up and offer a new perspective, offer a fresh perspective, offer a new way of doing things, or offer a playfulness that you may not always experience, because we tend to get into like these really serious ruts, and we feel like everything has to be perfect, everything has to be done right now, everything is urgent. And manifesting generators kind of come into life with this idea, with this energy of, well, let's see if this works. Let's see what happens when we do this. Let's see how this works out. And that is the superpower of manifesting generators. It's the ability to bring a sense of excitement and a sense of playfulness into everything that they do, and to pull the people around them into that energy as well. And that's where a lot of the impact of manifesting generators come from, because they have this aura of connecting other people and nurturing other people, but at the same time wanting to be in front, wanting to start new things, wanting to inspire and impact the world in a new way. So that's the tea on manifesting generators. And it isn't always the same thing, because as manifesting generators, they kind of go like this. Like, there's a little bit of a flip-flopping energy, but it's not bad. And I feel like manifesting generators get a really bad rap for this almost flip-flopping, because again, our society values people who just, stick with one thing and push through and do it that way. But that's not how you're designed to operate. So if you are putting yourself into a box because you feel like that's what you need to do to be successful, you're actually hindering yourself in a really big way. So that's the tea on manifesting generators. Let's go to projectors. And I think projectors are extremely important in our society, because we've gotten to a point where everyone wants to be seen. Everyone wants their opinion to be heard, as they should. That's a valid desire in society. And the thing about projectors, the superpower of projectors, what makes projectors so important, is that they have the ability to do that. They have the ability to make people feel seen and make people feel appreciated and understood for who they are. Because projectors are able to see people so clearly, and they see you for exactly what your strengths are. They see you for exactly who you are. They're able to pull those aspects out of you and appreciate you for them and understand you in a way that other people around you who aren't projectors probably will never understand or see you in that way. So if we didn't have projectors, or if we don't have projectors out in the world using their superpowers of basically recognition and validation, then we'd have a bunch of people running around who don't actually know the impact that they're having on society, who don't feel as though they are worthy of the life that they have been given or of the opportunities that they have been given, because no one's taken the time to tell them, hey, you've got this. Like, you're good at this, you're good at this. You have this talent, you're strong in this area, you could work on this a little bit, and that'll push you to where you want to be. That is the superpower of a projector, is to see your strengths, is to see where you are able to bring more of yourself into in order to create the life that you want. And that is a really important thing, especially in our society now, where we're kind of dipping into this area where we're almost kind of hopeless. Like, we want things to get better, and we hope that things are going to get better, but at the same time we're like, this can't be good. Like we're looking into the future like, this is just not what is happening, you know? But for projectors, that's when they're able to come in and be like, okay, yeah, you know, this might not look the best that it could right now, but see where you could come in. What you're really good at is this, this, and this. And you could help by doing this, and you can create an impact by doing this. That is the power of the projector, to literally see and guide you in the best way of using your energy so you can create the change you want to see in the world. Yeah? Okay. So that is projectors. Let's go on to, I've got to write better notes. That's just what it is. Let's do manifestors next. So, are there any comments? I forget. Hello, Brittany. Hi. Thank you for following. Thank you for the like so much. Which fiction series is the best? Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, or the Bible? The Bible. I have only seen Harry Potter, so I'm going to say Harry Potter. I have not seen Lord of the Rings. Oh, no, that's a lie. I have seen Lord of the Rings, but it was a very long time ago. Yeah, I'm going to stick with Harry Potter. That's my answer to that. Interesting question. Okay, so manifestors. The superpower of manifestors is creating change. Manifestors are the leaders. They are the change makers. They are the trendsetters. They are the trailblazers. Their superpower is creating inspiration in other people, but also creating change and growth. The thing is, without manifestors, we would kind of be stuck in the same cycle of doing things over and over and over and over and over again. The big change in our society, more than not, comes from the manifestors, because that's their job, to bring the unseen into the scene, to bring what is not currently in the physical into the physical world. That's what they do. And they infuse everything that they do with this energy of inspiration and growth and change, because that's what they're all about. They follow their inner urges, they create what they want to create, and then they hand it off for someone else to kind of nurture and grow into whatever it's going to become, so they can move on to the next thing and bring the next thing into existence and do it all over again. So really, if you're a manifestor and you're kind of putting yourself in this box, putting yourself in a box, regardless of energy type, is never the way to go. So it's just a theme of the day. So if you're doing that, stop doing that. But specifically for manifestors, if you're putting yourself in this routine where you're doing the same things over and over again, you're not allowing yourself to experiment, you're not allowing yourself to just follow your urges and create the things that you know need to be created, you're not giving the world the best of you. You're not utilizing your potential to its fullest. And that's going to make you feel very, very angry. That's where you get pushed into your not self theme. Either anger or very, very like background, like irritation, almost like you're always kind of angry at everyone around you. But you have the ability to say, okay, you know what? No, I'm not going to get stuck in this rut. I'm not going to keep putting myself in this box because it's not good for me. So when you allow yourself to just kind of be who you are and listen to your inner urges and create what you want to create and let go of what you no longer feel you should be holding on to anymore, you'll start to get into this non-verbal creative flow, which is another powerful aspect of being a manifester. And it's so interesting because I've had this idea knocking around in my head for a few days. And it just hit me right now that I am doing the exact thing that I'm telling y'all not to do. Like this idea that I want to do, I'm just like, oh, who am I to do something like that? And I've never done something like that. And it seems like it'd be a lot of work. And I don't know if it'd be successful. And as I'm talking about being a manifestor and not putting yourself in a box and not dimming your light, I'm like, bitch, you are doing exactly what you're telling them not to do. So, well, now I've got to do it because here we are. Okay. All right. Well, that's that. So yes, that's the tea on manifestors. So lastly, we're going to talk about reflectors. Reflectors are so important to the well-being of society, to the well-being of the people around them, because that is exactly what you're meant to do. You are able to see clearly who is being authentic, who is doing what's healthy for them, who is living in alignment and who is not. Because you are so open, because you don't have any defined centers, you are able to kind of sample the energy around you. And as you're sampling, you're able to see who is living in alignment with their energy and who is not. You are able to see where they are dimming themselves and where they are not doing the things that they're supposed to be doing in order to make themselves feel the happiest, or feel the most fulfilled, or feel the most at peace. So you can see that because you are literally experiencing it with them. That's what you do. You are a mirror. You reflect back to people what they're doing and how they can come into more alignment. However, when you are not allowing yourself to be in alignment, you are then hindering your ability to show other people how they can be in alignment. Because how you gonna tell somebody how to do something when you're not even doing the somethings that you're supposed to be doing so that you can be living the life that you're supposed to be living? That was a mouthful. However, it goes back to what I was just saying about me putting myself in a box. It's the same thing with reflectors. If you put yourself in a box, if you're not living the best way for you that you're meant to live, it's going to be really difficult for you to tell other people how it's best for them to live their life. I need a mentor. A mentor? What kind of mentor? I've had plenty of mentors in my life. So having a mentor, especially a coach, I think is a really good idea. I actually think I might do a video about the different coaches that I've had that have changed my life because they're amazing. All of my coaches have been amazing. That's off topic, but I got distracted. So yes, if you are a reflector, your superpower is being able to push people back into alignment by literally reflecting back to them who they are and who they could be. So allowing yourself to kind of flow with life and flow with the energy that is around you is very important, because if you're so rigid in your energy that you're not allowing yourself to sample what's going on around you, you're not going to be able to do what you're meant to do on this planet, which sucks because you're so necessary. You are so vital, literally. Okay. What else did I want to talk about? I feel like there was something in my brain and I lost it. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is how do you do this, right? So we talked about the superpower of each type, and we talked about how putting yourself in a box regardless of your type is not great. So now that I've talked about, the superpower, let's talk about how to actually tap in to that superpower. So let's start at reflectors, since we ended with reflectors. And I talked about this a little bit. For you, in order to live in alignment with your energy type as a reflector, you need to allow yourself to flow. Stop trying to define yourself in one way. Stop trying to pigeonhole yourself into one way of being. Because living in that flow, in that natural flow with the energy around you, is what allows you to reflect back to other people what they could be doing better to live the life that they want. But that ability to do that comes from your ability to surrender to the flow, to surrender yourself and who you think you should be, to who you actually are in that moment. Because it could change from moment, like you could be one person 1 minute, and then 5 minutes from now, you are a completely different person. So what? So what? Who cares? Because as long as it feels good to you, as long as it keeps you living in alignment, does it really fucking matter? Does it? No, it doesn't. So the thing about being a reflector is you get to experience everything. You don't need to force yourself to have this overabundance of control over the things that are going on around you. You don't need to do that. Things will naturally fall into place for you when you allow yourself to simply flow with what is going on, to flow with the energy that is in your vicinity at the time. That's what you are meant to do. There is nothing wrong with that. And I feel like we have a value in this society of knowing who you are, having a niche. Like you see it everywhere. And the fact of the matter is, as a reflector, you might not know who you are day to day. That doesn't make you any less successful. That doesn't make you any less valuable. That doesn't make you any less knowledgeable. It actually takes a very strong trust in yourself and the world around you in order to do that. I'm not going to say all, but a lot of the people who are running around like chickens with their head cut off, trying to control everything around them, are doing so because they do not feel safe, number one, or they do not trust that things are going to work out for them. Which is not necessarily, like, I'm not bashing these people, because we've grown up in a society whose primary goal was not to make us feel safe. It was actually to instill fear. So I'm not bashing anyone when I say that, but that's how a lot of the world is operating. You do not have to operate in that way. You get to simply flow and trust that things are going to work out for you because you are allowing yourself to flow. Okay. So that is reflectors. Let's go to manifestors. For manifestors, in order to truly feel at peace, in order to truly be able to tap into your superpower as a manifestor, you need to follow your inner urges. And this is another thing about manifestors. I'm gonna need y'all to stop asking other people for permission. I'm gonna need y'all to stop giving a flying fuck in space about what other people want. Now, this doesn't mean to be mean about it. This doesn't mean to be toxic about it. I'm talking specifically when it comes to you and your inner urges and the things that you feel within yourself need to happen for you and that you want to create and bring into this world. I don't give a fuck what anyone has to say about it. I don't care what anyone else wants. If you want to create something, if you want to start something, if you want to bring something into this world, you freaking do it. If it is a true urge, you do it. I don't care what your mama thinks. I don't care what your big sister has to say. I don't care what your daddy said. I don't care. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't care. If you have an urge, if you have a feeling that this is what you are supposed to be doing, you go and do it. Stop asking for permission. Stop asking for permission. The only permission that you require as a manifestor is your own. That's it. That's it. Because see, the thing is, and this is the catch-22 with manifestors, you fall into this habit of asking for permission, but y'all don't like being told what to do. So you ask for permission and somebody says, no, don't do that, do this instead. Now you mad. You did it. You asked for permission. You did it. So we're just going to alleviate that whole cycle. We're just going to stop. We're going to nip that in the bud right now. Follow your inner urges. And don't give a crap what anyone has to say about it. That's it. Because what is the worst that could happen? It doesn't work? Cool. Try something else. Thank you for the follow. Yeah. Stop doing that. Stop. Stop asking for permission. Because it's never going to work out the way that you want it to. Yeah. Also, sometimes the things that you want to create, the things that you want to bring into the world might not make any sense. So there's a lot of things that are created in this world that don't make any fucking sense and end up doing very well. So why would your idea be any different? There's so many things that we have in the world that doesn't make sense. Why do we have so many coffee shops? We need a Coffee Bean and a Starbucks? Do we really? No, but we have them and they do very well. So what's one more coffee shop, you know? You mad? I can't stay mad at you. You want to argue? Facts. I love that. The sounds that go viral on TikTok are so hilarious, which is probably why they go viral. Okay, so let's go to project. I saw your page. You got a lot of character and personality. Thank you. Hello from South Carolina. Oh, I knew someone from South Carolina. That doesn't matter. Hello. I am in California, so we're straight on the opposite sides of the country. But thank you so much. Shoot, what was I talking about? Oh, projectors. So for projectors, in order for you to be able to guide, because that's your superpower, right? You are the guides of society, to make people seen and to make people feel heard and understood. Your job is to follow your passions. Follow the things that really, really interest you. Those are the things that you need to pay attention to, because this is the thing about projectors. You're very efficient. Yeah. You are very, very efficient and you're able to see things very clearly. And sometimes, especially in this society, you can fall into this trap of feeling like you have to be very analytical and feeling like you have to be very logical about your decisions. And that is not always the case. The things that you are interested in, the things that you are so passionate about, are the things that you need to be taking conscious time every day to hone in on. Because if you're going to guide people, right? If you're going to guide people to living their best life, to building the best business that they can, to creating the best family that they can, you know, these things, you have to have a certain foundation of knowledge. Yeah. And for projectors, that's called your zone of genius. The things that really interest you, the things that you're naturally good at, that's called your zone of genius. So you need to take time every single day to hone in on those things, to learn about them, to play around with them, to understand them more, and then share what you learn very publicly so that people who need your guidance, who need your help, can find you and ask you for your help. Because think about it. If you are a guide with no one to guide, are you really a guide? See how that wouldn't work out? But when you take time to hone your zone of genius, when you take time to create this base foundation of information around the things that you are passionate about and interested in, and you share your knowledge, much like I'm doing now on a public platform, doesn't have to be TikTok, you then invite other people to ask you for help around the things that you have knowledge about and are interested in. Look at that! Now you can guide. Now you've got an audience. Now you've got people who want to listen to you, who want to pay you for your knowledge, who want you to help them. Now all of a sudden you live in alignment. Now all of a sudden you got people to guide. You're making people feel understood and making them feel heard. And all the things are starting to fall into place. But that started with you taking the things that interest you seriously. Your zone of genius could be a hobby if you want it to be. Like, that doesn't mean you don't have to make your zone of genius your life's work, but you could. The option is there for you when you take those things seriously. Yeah? Oh my God, I feel like I talk so much without breathing, and it's a little bit of an issue. Cali is dope, but so expensive. The flag should be $100 bill. Yeah. It gets a little steep in certain places. Like, I think Los Angeles, I don't live in Los Angeles, but I feel like Los Angeles would be kind of expensive. Claire from I'm actually not clairvoyant. I don't think I'm any of the Claires, honestly. I mean, I read tarot, but that's about it. It takes a lot of study. Well, some people are naturally very good at it. I'm not one of those people that's naturally very good at it. For me, I feel like it would take a lot of time, a lot of study, and a lot of practice, especially if I were going to do this like professionally. But yeah. What was I doing? Oh, so now let's talk about generators and manifesting generators. I talk about this a lot. Your thing is your excitement. For you, in order to live in alignment with your design, in order to give the best of yourself to the world, in order for you to really claim your superpower and give the best of yourself, you need to follow your excitement. If you are a generator or manifesting generator and you are not following the things that excite you, if you're not following the things that light you up, you're probably miserable, first of all. You're probably very frustrated and angry, and you are not doing what you were put on this earth to do. Which means you're not sharing your light with the rest of the world. You're not spreading positive energy because you don't have any to give. Because you're stuck in the shoulds, because you're stuck in this box, because you're stuck in doing what everyone else wants you to do rather than what you want to do, rather than what you know you should do. So you have to follow your excitement, even if it doesn't make sense. And I tell this story all the time. I'm a certified yoga teacher, yeah? Before I got certified, I had never taken a yoga class. I was not... I think this was around maybe October of last year. August of last year, I had never taken a yoga class. I had never stepped foot in a yoga studio. And one day, randomly out of the blue, I was like, you know what? I want to become a yoga teacher. And in my head, I'm like, what? You've never taken a yoga class. Why would you want to be a yoga teacher? I don't know. Just sounds like something fun to do. And then I went and got certified to be a yoga teacher. Now I love yoga. But up until that point, I was not interested in yoga in the slightest. But once I got certified, I realized that I really enjoyed it. And I've made a very decent living teaching yoga. That never would have happened if I had continued to question myself about why the fuck would I become a yoga teacher? I ain't never done yoga before. Can you even lose weight doing yoga? Like, that don't make no... What? If I had let myself get caught up in the questions and denied myself the experience of doing what I wanted to do, I wouldn't have one of my income streams that I currently have. So that's what I mean by following something that excites you, even if it doesn't make any sense. Because the reason that you're drawn to it in the first place is an indication that you're either going to learn something from this or that it's going to help you in the long run. Because things don't just happen for no reason. See, and that's another thing. This is going to be a ranty live. We, in the logical world, we like to shrug things off rather than kind of accepting the interconnected nature of the entire world, right? We make up things like coincidences or, oh, that's, that just happened. It doesn't mean anything. The universe is rarely that lazy. And that I truly believe that. If something comes into your awareness and it excites you or it makes you want to do something, there's a reason for that. There is a reason for everything. Oh, it's just a coincidence. No. I personally don't believe that. There's a reason for everything. And if you're excited by something, I believe wholeheartedly that the reason you're excited by it is because you are meant to pursue it. That doesn't mean that you're always meant to finish it, but it means that you are meant to have that thing in your life in some capacity. That's all I'm saying. Yes, so for generators and manifesting generators, following your excitement is number one. That should be number one on your list, always. You're a bad bitch, respectfully. Thank you. Okay. There was something else I wanted to There's something else I wanted to talk about. What was it? Oh, I kind of talked about this before, but we're gonna talk about it. So I talked about superpowers. I talked about how you can tap into your superpowers. Now I'm gonna talk about how you limit yourself. Some of the ways that you limit yourself, because there's lots of ways that you could limit yourself, but I'm just gonna mention like one for each of the types. So for generators, I see this a lot with generators specifically. Y'all wanna worry about what's next. And I get it, okay? We live in a society, again, I'm gonna keep coming back to society because we're all kind of traumatized by it. We live in a society where you're supposed to plan things. You're supposed to have a plan. You're supposed to map everything out. You're supposed to follow the steps, 1, 2, 3, and get to where, you know, you'll get to the end and you'll have achieved your goal, right? For generators, that's not always gonna work. You don't always need to worry about what step comes next. You don't always need to have a perfectly planned out and perfectly executed plan. You don't always have to work in that way. For you, being present and being in your body is so much more important than planning out every single step of the way. Honestly, trying to overplan things is probably going to frustrate you more than anything. So one of the ways that I see generators, especially my generator clients, limit themselves is if they can't figure out what the next step is going to be, they'll just completely let go of it and they'll just move on to something else. What? Ma'am, really? Yes. Like, I don't have a plan. I don't know what the next step is. I'm just going to let this go. No. Stay present. Stay in your body. What feels like the right thing to do now? What step feels the most exciting for you to do right now? Do that. Do that. That is your next step. Your excitement is your GPS system. Your excitement is your planning system. Your mind you don't experience excitement up here. Well, I don't experience excitement up here. When I get excited, I'm shaking, you know, I start to sweat. Excitement is in the body. So if you're stuck up here in planning mode, you're going to miss the sensations in your body that are telling you, turn right. Turn right. You missed your turn because you was too busy up here, right? So that is how generators tend to dim their light. Manifesting generators is a little bit different. Kind of similar. Manifesting generators also do not need to plan out every single thing. But what I notice more for manifesting generators as opposed to generators is this idea of getting distracted and kind of going through life a little bit too fast. Like you're not spending enough time in your body and in the present moment to figure out what the next step is because you're getting so distracted by all the other things that you want to do. Not to say that you can't do all of those other things, but let's try and do things one at a time. Yeah? So, for instance, for me, as a manifesting generator and as a business owner, I have so many different ideas for products that I want to put out, for readings that I want to do, for events that I want to plan, which is fine. I can do all of them, but I can't always do all of them at the same time. So I have noticed as a business owner, when I decide that I want to do something, I need to focus on that one thing. And then after I've spent time on this one thing, then move on to the other thing that I want to do. Rather than trying to do them both at the same time and kind of have both my hands in different pots. Sometimes we need to slow down. Especially as manifesting generators, we need to learn to kind of slow down and give each of our tasks, each of our interests, the proper time to gestate, the proper time to be brought into the physical. Because we tend to move real quick. We get real excited real fast and it's got to go real fast. breathe, calm down, and give each pot enough time to gestate. That's a big thing for manifesting generators, because we be moving. We be moving. Okay. Manifestors. So the thing about manifestors, it bugs me so much, because y'all don't know how powerful you are. Y'all don't understand how truly powerful and how innately necessary you are to society. So because you don't always know this, you have this tendency to play small. You naturally radiate a bigness, but because you sometimes can be a little bit scared of being seen by others, you tend to play it small. You tend to play it safe. And this is doing a tremendous disservice to you and to the people around you. Stop playing small and stop trying to do everything on your own. Because I mentioned this before, your superpower is being able to create and bring this energy of inspiration to the people around you. But if you play small and pigeonhole yourself into this one box, it's going to make you angry, but it's also going to clutter up your energy so that you are not able to create and inspire others in the way that you would be if you had allowed yourself to be as big as you are, and also if you had allowed other people to come on and help you. Because that's the thing about your aura. It needs to be big. You need to be big so you can draw in the people around you to help you. Because when you bring this thing into the physical, at some point, you're going to want to let that thing go and hand it off to someone else so you can go off and do the next thing. But if you are not telling people what you're doing, if you're not allowing your aura to draw people in, who are you going to hand this thing off to when you're ready to try something else? You're not going to have anyone. So that's why it's important for you to be following your strategy of informing, and that's why it's important for you to not dim your light, to not play small for the benefit of yourself or anyone else. So that's for manifestors. Let's go. There's only 2 left, so I don't know. Let's do reflectors. And I kind of talked about this a little bit earlier. For reflectors, it is so important for you to stop trying to define who you are, for you to stop trying to label yourself, for you to stop trying to be one specific way or one specific thing. That's not how you are. That's not who you are. You are meant to experience all of it. You get to experience all of the energy around you in a way that the rest of us will never understand. We will never comprehend the depths to which you are able to experience life, because the rest of us have our own energy signature. We have these defined points in our design that you don't have. So you will always and forever be experiencing things to a level and to a depth that we will never comprehend. But when you try and define yourself, you cut yourself off from that energy stream, which in turn cuts you off from your superpower, from your sensitivity, from your ability to reflect and sense the well-being and the health of other people. And that is such a disservice to you. That is such a disservice to the world around you. Don't do that. You don't have to be any specific thing. You get to be whoever the fuck you are in any given moment. That's it. There is no requirement of you other than to just flow and experience the things around you. And at the end of the day, release it. To not be attached to it, to not be attached to any one thing, to not be attached to any one way of being. You don't have to do that. And you shouldn't do that. Yeah? So that's reflectors. Let's go to projectors. The thing that I have found for projectors that keeps you from embracing your superpower and dims your light is trying to force other people to listen to you, trying to force other people to take your advice, trying to force your ideas onto other people. And I understand why you're doing it, okay? Because you're a guide. You want to guide people. You want to help people get to their fullest potential. You want that for them. But the thing is, the reason why you need to wait for them to be ready is because some people are not ready to be seen that clearly. And until they invite you to see them in that way, whatever you say to them is just going to bounce off. And they're not going to be receptive to it. And it's not going to bring you the recognition and the validation that you desire because they're not going to be receiving it. So for you, you have to let go of this pushing energy because you don't have to push anything. Your only job is to share what you know and then wait for people to ask you to go deeper. Wait for people to invite you to go deeper with them. But understand that your aura can be very jarring to people who are not ready to be seen in that way. So when you force your ideas, when you force your advice, when you force your guidance on them, even if it's out of a place of caring, even if it's from a place of simply wanting them to succeed, it's not going to land the way that you want it to land because they are not ready. So in order to combat that, number one, I always say you need to have a daily self-value practice. Every single day, you need to be waking up and telling yourself, reminding yourself of all the reasons why you are valuable, of all the reasons why you are knowledgeable, of all the reasons why you are already worthy. Valuing yourself first, honing your zone of genius, and sharing that in a way that allows people to see you, that allows people to acknowledge you as an expert, which will then trigger them into inviting you to go deeper. And once you have that invitation, then you can let your freak flag your freak flag fly. Lord, that was, wow. But until then, it's up to you. It's up to you to recognize yourself. It's up to you to learn about and play around with the things that interest you and share what you can when you can until that moment someone invites you to go deeper with them. Yes? Yes. Okay, so that is actually all the topics that I had for today. And what I think I'm going to talk about tomorrow is like day-to-day living, like what you should be doing every day in terms of like types. And the reason why this live is a little bit shorter than my normal lives is because today is my birthday. Today is my birthday. So I've got birthday things to do and I'm very excited. But that's why today is a little bit shorter. Also, I'm kind of tired, so I think I'm going to take a nap because that feels like the right thing for me to do. So I will see you all tomorrow. I will be live again and we're going to talk about the types more. Bye.